After returning from the Three Island tour, I took a drive through Bamaga and went and had a look at the World War II plane wrecks. So this is what's left of a Bristol Beaufort Mark 8 torpedo bomber, made and crewed by Australians, and apparently this one crashed, killing the crew. Over here's what's left of the tail assembly, and I dare say it would have been a lot more widely scattered than this. They've just dragged all the bits together. Rather sad, but happened quite often apparently. So we've got a fuel dump, 44-gallon drums, all rusting away in weather, heaps of them. So more fuel drums, considering that these have been here since 1942, which would make them nearly 80 years old. They're actually in remarkably good condition. So this is a DC-3 transport plane that crashed en route from Brisbane to Papua New Guinea in 1945, killing all on board. And again, I think they've just piled all the bits into one site. An engine. So 4 crew and a passenger, all killed. So here's an aeroplane that I missed yesterday but heard about talking to people in the caravan park. There's not very much left of it. Looks like part of the undercarriage and some fuselage and part of the cockpit. Anyway, I'm not sure of the history of this, whether it crashed or whether it was just trashed and dumped here, but there's reminders like this all through the bush here, because Bamaga was an important military base in the Second War. This is a World War II radar installation, a Raf Radar Installation, the last one operational on the Australian mainland. It was in operation from 1943 to 1945, obviously to give advance warning of incoming Japanese planes. So, looking a bit the worse for wear after nearly 80 years. I'd seen and heard a lot about Punsan Bay. Because of its close proximity to the tip, I decided to stay there for one night before I actually went. It had a beautiful beach and I was able to get a glorious sunset that night, but it was too touristy for me. There was, however, a general camping area for the plebs, and that's where I stayed. I also found this rather large green tree frog in the shower block. So the next day I headed off for the tip, made even more significant by the fact it was also my birthday. Strategically located at the junction of the Punsan Bay and Pajinka or Tip roads is the croc tent. I might have splashed out and bought a I made it to the tip shirt and a hat. The last few kilometres to the tip wound through rainforest and included one quite deep water crossing. 2.5 years in the planning, thousands of kilometres driven, rough roads, rain, and now finally glorious weather, and I've made it. Here is the tip of Cape York, these off-lying islands you can see here, and you can see a bunch of people down here doing the obligatory photos next to the Cape York sign. So I'm going to head down there and do the same. I'd finally made it. All that time and effort was suddenly worthwhile. Fair tide running out there. So that's the distance marker, that obelisk of concrete, and probably about the highest point, I think, and the track just goes back. It's marked quite readily with these little stone cairns and the odd termite mound, and it's probably about 800-900 metres from the car park. I've been here for an hour and a half. When I got here, there were 8 cars. Now it's absolutely packed, and they're way back past my car in the scrub there. After visiting the tip, I headed across to the northeast corner to Somerset to do the 5 Beaches run. I'm near Somerset on the northeast tip of Cape York. Check out this tidal race. This is amazing. Don't think you'd last very long out there in the water. The 5 Beaches run was a pleasant and pretty straightforward 4-wheel drive trip. The lower tyre pressure was absolutely essential given the large stretches of soft sand and sharp rocky outcrops. The beaches themselves were firm, with fresh water seeping through the sand. This quite deep washout was the only really tricky part.